Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you some tips and tricks I've learned for 3D modeling. These tips don't work for everything, but hopefully they help. First trick is to use the grid fill option. I briefly went over this in a previous video, but I didn't go too into detail about it. The hotkey is Ctrl F. You'll get a bar with some options and select grid fill. It can be more practical than N-Gons because it provides better topology, especially if you'll be doing wireframe renders. They aren't always the best options since they create more vertices. Another thing to keep in mind is you'll need to get a loop close to the grid-filled face, otherwise you'll get a square-looking artifact. Next trick is using the cursor to move objects around. If you hit Shift-S, you'll get a pie bar. Select your first object and hit Shift-S, then select the cursor to Object option. Next, select the second object. Hit Shift-S and use the Object to 3D cursor option. Now your object origins will be at the same location. This next step is allowing the rotation of two objects. Select your first object which you want to be aligned to your other object, then the second mesh with the rotational data. Hit N on the keyboard and a sidebar will pop up. Go to the top of the bar, the item tab, and right-click on the rotation info. You'll get an option which says Copy All to Selected. Use that and bam! Your objects are aligned. This next one may be known to a lot of you, but it's very helpful. If you've ever used the bevel modifier, you may have noticed that your mesh can look very weird and soft. A good way to fix this is go to your Object Data tab with the bevel object selected, and under the Normals option you'll see a checkbox for Alwayssmooth. This feature in itself is a very useful feature, and I'll get to that right after this tip. Check the box and go back to your bevel modifier. Now choose the Harden Normals option. The box should now look a bit less smooth. The Alwayssmooth feature is something I'll just brush over, although it's a very powerful tool. If you've ever gone into edit mode and manually used the Mark Sharp option, it can be very time consuming. With the Alwayssmooth option, you can tell your computer to mark certain areas sharp automatically. It's helpful for cylinders because if you shade them smooth without a subsurface modifier, you'll see some unpleasant artifacts. If you check Alwayssmooth, it fixes it. Another thing you can do is use the cursor as a center of rotation or scale. Place your cursor somewhere and hit the period key. You'll see a pie bar come up and select the 3D cursor option. Now you can rotate around the 3D cursor. If you want to rotate around a central vertex, select everything you want to rotate, then select the vertex you want to act as a scaling or rotational point. Hit the period key again and this time select active element from the pie bar. Now the active vertex will be the center of rotation. If you have two or more objects that you need to add a modifier to, it's very time consuming to do it one by one. So add all the desired modifiers to one object and then select all your other objects. Select the object with the modifiers last, then hit Ctrl L. You'll see a bar pop up and select modifiers. Now all your objects will have the same modifiers. Same thing applies to materials. And last but not least, if you want to move a face along its normal axis, for example a cylinder, you may extrude a face out then delete the extra edge loop. A better way to do it is hit the comma key and you'll see a pie bar pop up. Select the normal option, and if you hit G for grab and Z for the axis, it will move along the normal direction. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you out or you just learned something new. See you next time!